Sandy Shaw, long live love. Definitely Mandy. Long live love, Sandy Shaw.
Oh, yes, long live love.
She's a bit of a character, wasn't she, Sandy?
She was, yes.
I watched that video many... I didn't consciously watch it. It just turned up on one of these Top the Pops too, and it was in black and white, and she was just stood there, just miming away.
She was in her bare feet, wasn't she?
She was.
Yeah, she's
bless
tall.
her.
Yeah, and that's not a problem I have.
No, definitely not Mandy. You can't see Mandy, but she doesn't have that problem.
You can't see me because I'm so short.
and can sing like Sandy Shaw by the sound of it, but there we are. Let's turn our attention just for a few moments to across the pond. Donald Trump, who in some people's eyes has similar ideas to UKIP, apparently, and he wants to control migration, and in fact has been very cleverly been trying to deal with issues such as migration and other things like that, which it seems a lot of Americans see as a problem. He recently said he would shut the borders and even export people. Is this something UKIP would agree with in order to deal with the migration problem?
Definitely not.
No?
No, I mean...
Shut the borders, Mandy?
No.
Open for business.
Obviously open for business. I mean, nobody can deny that the UK needs immigrants. We need immigration. Our health service couldn't run without a lot of the very fine work done by Filipino nurses, for
Absolutely.
example. Donald Trump, I think he just says things to get a reaction, and certainly I would dispute that he is like anybody in UKIP. Well, certainly, he's not like anybody in the leadership in UKIP. Let me be very clear.
Guess where he's moving to if he doesn't. If his political career doesn't take off in the States, he'll be knocking on UKIP's door.
We'll tell him to get lost.
We'll tell him to get lost. Mr. Trump also wants to build a wall and get Mexico to foot the bill for it. Which, I mean, that is a remarkable statement. We build a wall, you put the bill for it. It's quite simple, really.
It's quite interesting, but I think one parallel I'd like to draw is that Barack Obama's joining in with the EU debate. He's saying that the UK shouldn't Brexit. We shouldn't leave the EU. Could you imagine Donald Trump saying, "Oh, we'll have a free trade agreement and freedom of movement with Mexico"?
Oh.
In fact, do you think Barack Obama would go for that? I mean, I think in many ways it's one law for the Americans and one law for the UK. And of course, Barack Obama, he thinks we should remain in the EU because he wants this TTIP deal. He's putting the Americans first, and it's nothing to do with Barack Obama. He should butt out.
Do you think he's a good president?
No, I think he's a rubbish president. I don't like him.
Okay, well. We've got a bit of a problem because we've got Barack Obama.
I don't like any of them, to be honest. I don't like Barack Obama. I don't like Hillary Clinton.
I was just going to say,
I don't like Donald Trump.
If you were forced between the three of them, yeah, exactly. Where do you go with it?
I don't know. I couldn't vote for Barack Obama and I couldn't vote for Donald Trump, so it would have to be Hillary Clinton. But I don't like her.
By default.
Oh, terrible. I pity the American people, the choice they've got. You see, that's a problem with the American system. You have to be really rich to stand to be president. So, you can't just go for it. You have to have all the money behind you.
But you know what? That's what a lot of people would say about our political system. People like David Cameron, George Osborne, all the people on the front bench, and Jeremy Hunt, who... I have to say, I'm not an avid fan of Jeremy Hunt. I was watching something on Sky News about the junior doctors, because I sort of get the junior doctors. I understand where they're coming from with all that. And, Jeremy Hunt was rattling on about sort of, he wanted to speak to junior doctors and they wouldn't come to the table and talk to him. And Sky News showed some footage of a junior doctor going up the stairs and saying, Jeremy, I'm a junior doctor. I want to talk to you. And he's there to like, come on, Jeremy, up the stairs. Jeremy, you wanted to talk to us. I'm here. Why don't you come and talk to us? And of course, he hurried on up the stairs and didn't say anything to them at all. I'm just thinking, fancy that. A health secretary doesn't want to talk to the doctors. What's going on?
I think that says a lot about his communication skills or his lack thereof, to be honest. But in terms of people being poor getting to be elected in the UK, the biggest thing that we had that influenced that was grammar schools, social mobility. And now you're right that most of the cabinet have been educated at private schools, and that isn't democratic. Whereas, you may not have liked Margaret Thatcher and John Major, but they went through the grammar school system, which meant basically it was open to anybody. Any bright kid could get a good education, and I'm not sure that that's the case now. So,
arguably, Margaret Thatcher went through a few things, not just the education, steamrolled a few things and people, but there we are.
Yes.
That's a different thing. Returning problems a little bit more closer home. According to Labour, the disabled, the unemployed, people who claim child benefits, all seem to bear the brunt of this "we're all in it together" campaign, which David Cameron often refers to. Do you see this as just political point scoring, or do you think there's some truth in this "we're all in it together" system?
Well, we're not all in it together, are we? We've got Theresa May, who's our Home Secretary, and I believe her husband is a shareholder with G4, is it? G4S?
Oh, yeah.
So I think there's a lot of... I mean, I don't know the details of everything, and I don't wish to libel myself over, over the radio. But I know that they have that a lot of... They have got a lot of connections, but especially the Tories. With they're not all in it together. I mean, why does David Cameron really want to stay in the EU? Is it because he wants he believes that it's right for the country? Well, he can't do, because the facts point otherwise. So it's, jobs for his friends, jobs for the boys, links with big business. No, we're not all in it together. He's just a rich, Eton, educated Tory boy with his friend George Osborne as Chancellor, and they're in it for themselves. Self-servitives, not conservatives.
I like the soundbite. They're all in it together.
They're all in it together for themselves.
Oh
yes.
dear, it's not quite how it's put out there. I remember.
But they have got a long-term economic plan, though. They'll always tell you that, but they won't tell you what it is.
No, I know. I've watched some very interesting forecasts on Sky News that would indicate slightly different. And George Osborne's had to do quite a number of U-turns with these budgets over the last couple of budgets, because they've just caused absolute chaos.
Well, his latest one is the with the buy-to-let market. I have to come clean here. We've got a couple of buy-to-let houses, but what does he think that making all these changes to the market will do? It will reduce the supply of homes that can be let, and that will thus push up the rents. So you have to question some of the things that he does in terms of the knee-jerk reactions rather than taking a long-term view. And as a Conservative government, they're supposed to be for market forces, and yet they're doing actually the opposite policies. So you say Conservative, you say Labour, but actually there's probably not a great deal between them.
So you're saying you're voting for one, voting for the other, almost?
Yeah. Well, maybe not with Jeremy Corbyn. But with Ed Miliband, there's nothing between them.
Do you know what, though? I think it's when I have occasionally watched Prime Minister's Questions, and I do see snippets of it from time to time, every time I just see Jeremy Corbyn getting absolutely battered at the dispatch box by David Cameron, and it's just like, what is going on? He's not actually giving David Cameron a run for his money. What is going on here?
Well, I mean, David Cameron, he's... whether you like him or hate him, he's a very good debater. He's debated through Eton, he's debated through Oxford or Cambridge or wherever it was he went, and he knows how to run a debate, and he knows how to behave. Well, Jeremy Corbyn, he was just some backbencher who got lucky. He's not bright enough, is he, to be able to fend off Cameron at Prime Minister's Questions. I'd like to have a go, actually. I'd give him a run for his money.
PMQs?
Yeah. I'd sort him out. It would take me a couple of times to get used to it.
Yeah.
But I'd give him a go, yeah.
It'd maybe have to be a late night edition of PMQs. I feel, Mandy, for some bizarre reason. Wouldn't really be a midday sort of viewing programme, possibly.
I think the viewing figures might go up.
Well, they might well do, Mandy, yeah. It's got to be more... Well, this is the point. I remember when I had James Walton in the studio, and he said he felt that Prime Minister's Questions were entertaining, and I said, hang on a minute, the Prime Minister isn't in the entertainment industry? Isn't that what television's about and what Sky's doing? They're in the entertainment industry. Why is the Prime Minister in the entertainment industry? It's just like, what?
I think it's a fine line, really. I think, no, you want politicians to put your country first and not be entertainers, but you want people to be involved, because a lot of people say, politics, I'm not interested. And yet we all have a vote. We all need to be interested. And if you can do things that interest people by being a little bit entertaining but still getting your point across, then I think that's a good thing.
But they're not. They're not engaging people. That is part of the problem. When people think of politicians, people think of all the things that you've highlighted pretty much actually in the last 40 minutes. And people think, well, hang on a minute, what what am I actually voting for? They look at Prime Minister's questions, and that's really the biggest snippet that probably people see.
Yes.
And they think, you know what, that's a joke. Questions don't get answered. Nothing ever comes of it. You occasionally hear the speaker say, oh, you know, the public don't want to hear this, and people shouting across benches. And people are like, well, really, what? Is that who's running the country?
I mean, I know exactly what you mean, the way they all laugh at each other and they jeer and they shout. And it's, I'd say it's rather dated.
Yeah.
It's kind of like public school from 50 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's not changed, and it's not been updated. However, I would contrast that with the European Parliament.
Okay.
Where, you know, they'll send out fines if you say something they're not happy with. And at least in the UK Parliament, you can say what you want, which I think is worth defending.
Whether or not it's worth hearing is another thing.
I mean, you could call David Cameron a damp rag with no personality or no charisma, and you're not going to get a fine for it. Whereas, you know, in the European Parliament, if you said that about Herman Rumpy Pumpy, it might be a different story.
Quite possibly. Moving away from politics, Mandy, tell us a little bit about your life outside politics.
My life outside politics? Well, I used to be a statistician.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I gave my job up when I went to live in Belgium with my husband.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Because he got a job out there. So I lived in Belgium for 5.5 years.
Nice.
So I have been a European.
I've been there, done that one. Yeah.
We came back to the UK, and I set up my own website-based company doing affiliate marketing, which is where you advertise things online and get a commission if anybody buys anything. And I also teach exercise classes as well. Gosh,
Ruth.
Yes, aerobics, Pilates.
You're all over. Every time I see you on Facebook, you're all over. And interestingly enough, you've got a Twitter handle. I love handbags and shoes, which is a really interesting one. What kind of handbags are we on about? Sort of the Louis Vuitton sort of handbag sort of type.
I do have an eye for a handbag. Sadly, some of them are outside of my price range. But it doesn't stop me appreciating their beauty. Yeah. I have been known to go to Bicester and buy a very nice, genuine one if there's, 80% off and too good to resist. And I do have quite a nice selection of handbags, I have to admit to. And shoes and boots and dresses.
Oh, I like the way, and shoes and boots. Yeah, just the Twitter handle just can't cope with all your accessories, Mandy. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I run some fashion blogs as well. So
okay, I can see you doing quite well and stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely. Well, Mandy, you know what? It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you this morning. And if anyone like any further information about the party, how do they get in touch?
Well, they can email me at mandy@boylett.com.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a website, mandyboylett.co.uk.
Okay.
For things specifically about UKIP, they can go to the UKIP North East website.
Has a North East website. Good.
There is a North East website. Jonathan Arnott is our UKIP MEP, and he has his own website as well, jonathanarnott.co.uk. Or, go to my website, give me a ring. If there's any information you want, any booklets, anything you want to hand out, or if you want me to come and talk to your school about or anything else about the upcoming EU referendum, I'd be only too happy.
And fashion tips, yeah.
And fashion tips.
Excellent. Well, thanks very much for popping in this morning, Mandy. I think we're out of time. Gosh, we just, you're just one of the people. I could just
keep going.
You know what? You are just one of the people I could just talk to for the rest of the day.
Bless you. Thank you. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure having you in. And we're going to play out with S Club 7, Reach.
Oh, lovely.
Classic song.
Yeah, but don't reach for the 12 stars. Reach for the Union Jack.
Oh. She couldn't resist that one, could she?
I couldn't resist it.
Excellent. Well, thanks very much, Mandy. Aidan's coming up on the other side of this. Thank you. Bye-bye.